Learning how to see auras is often described as a process of becoming more sensitive to subtle energy and developing a deeper awareness of what surrounds people beyond the physical body. Many who explore this idea believe that every living being carries an energy field that reflects emotions, thoughts, and overall inner state. This energy is not always visible to the normal eye at first, but with practice, focus, and patience, some people report beginning to notice colors, light impressions, or subtle outlines around individuals. The first step in this practice is often about calming the mind. A busy or distracted mind tends to focus only on physical details, making it difficult to notice anything subtle. When you slow down your thoughts and enter a relaxed state, your perception becomes more open. This is why many people use meditation or quiet breathing exercises before attempting to see auras. By relaxing your eyes and your mind at the same time, you create a state where subtle visual impressions may become easier to notice. Another important part of developing this ability is soft focus. Instead of staring directly at a person or object, you gently relax your gaze and allow your vision to become slightly unfocused. Many practitioners suggest looking just beyond the body rather than directly at it. When you do this, you may begin to notice a faint glow or blurred outline around the edges. At first, it may be very subtle, almost like a shadow or light distortion. With continued practice, some people report seeing faint colors or shifting tones. Lighting also plays an important role in this experience. Dim neutral backgrounds are often easier for beginners because bright or busy environments can distract the eyes. A plain wall behind a person can make it easier to notice subtle contrasts. Many people begin practicing in calm indoor settings where they can focus without interruption. Over time, as sensitivity increases, some claim they are able to notice these impressions in a variety of environments. It is also important to approach this practice without pressure or expectation. One of the most common reasons people struggle is because they try too hard to see something specific. This creates tension in the mind and eyes, which can block natural perception. Instead, the process requires patience and openness. You are not forcing something to appear, you are allowing yourself to notice what may already be present in a subtle form. Some people believe that emotions and energy states can influence the appearance of auras. For example, a calm and peaceful person may appear to have a softer or brighter energy field, while someone experiencing stress may appear differently. Whether interpreted literally or symbolically, this idea encourages greater awareness of emotional states in yourself and others. It also promotes empathy, as you begin to observe people beyond their outward appearance. Another helpful practice is spending time in nature. Natural environments are often described as energetically calming, making it easier to relax perception. Looking at trees, sky, or flowing water without intense focus can gently train your eyes to notice subtle variations in light and color. Over time, this may enhance overall visual sensitivity. As you continue practicing, it is important to remain grounded. Experiences may vary widely from person to person, and not everyone perceives things in the same way. Some may notice colors, others may feel impressions, and some may not see anything visually at all, but still experience a stronger sense of awareness or intuition. The process is highly personal and develops differently for everyone. Developing the ability to see auras is often less about achieving a specific visual result and more about expanding perception and awareness. It encourages you to slow down, observe more deeply, and become more present in the moment. Whether viewed as a spiritual skill or simply a practice in focused attention, it invites a different way of seeing people and the world around you, where subtle details and inner states become just as meaningful as what is seen on the surface. Calming the mind and relaxing visual focus is considered the foundation of learning how to see auras. Many people struggle with this practice not because the ability is impossible, but because their attention is too tense, active, and directed. The human mind is naturally trained to focus on physical objects, details, and logical information. However, aura perception, whether understood as energy awareness or subtle visual sensitivity, requires a different kind of attention. It involves softening your mental and visual focus so that you are no longer forcing your eyes to analyze every detail in a rigid way. When the mind is busy, filled with thoughts, or emotionally active, perception becomes narrow. You only notice what is immediately obvious, and subtle impressions are easily ignored. This is why many practitioners recommend beginning with stillness, sitting quietly, focusing on your breathing, and allowing thoughts to slow down creates a more open internal state. You do not need to force your mind to become empty. Instead, you simply allow it to become less reactive. As your breathing becomes steady and your body relaxes, your awareness naturally expands. Relaxing visual focus is equally important. Instead of staring directly at a person or object with intense concentration, you gently soften your gaze. This is sometimes described as looking through or beyond the subject, rather than directly at it. When you do this, the eyes are not locked into sharp detail mode. Instead, they enter a more relaxed state where peripheral vision becomes slightly more active. Many beginners report that when they stop trying too hard, they begin to notice faint outlines, subtle light variations, or a gentle blur around the edges of the body. This relaxed focus is similar to how you might observe clouds in the sky without trying to define every shape. You are aware, but not controlling the experience. This balance between attention and relaxation is essential because too much effort can block perception. The goal is not to strain the eyes, but to allow them to become receptive. In this receptive state, some people describe noticing a soft glow or shimmering effect around living beings, especially in calm lighting conditions. Another important aspect of this stage is emotional neutrality. Strong emotions such as excitement, skepticism, or frustration can interfere with perception. When you are overly eager to see something, your mind tends to create expectations that distort what you actually perceive. Similarly, if you are overly doubtful, you may dismiss subtle impressions before giving them a chance to develop. A balanced emotional state helps create clearer observation. With regular practice, this calm and relaxed way of seeing begins to feel more natural. You may notice that even outside of practice sessions, your awareness of light, color, and energy shifts becomes slightly more sensitive. This does not necessarily mean dramatic or immediate results, but rather a gradual change in how you observe your environment. Over time, calming the mind and relaxing visual focus becomes the entry point for deeper perception, allowing you to move beyond surface-level observation and into a more subtle awareness of presence and energy. Training the eyes to notice subtle energy fields is often described as the middle stage in learning how to see auras, and it builds on the foundation of relaxation and mental calmness. Once the mind is less distracted and the gaze becomes softer, the next step is developing the ability to observe without forcing interpretation. This means learning how to look at a person or object in a way that allows subtle visual impressions to naturally appear without immediately labeling or analyzing what you see. In the beginning, most people only perceive physical details such as facial features, clothing, or background. This is completely normal because the brain is trained to prioritize clear, solid information. However, aura perception is said to involve noticing what exists beyond or around these physical details. To develop this sensitivity, practitioners often use simple exercises such as focusing on a person standing against a plain background. A neutral wall or soft lighting helps reduce visual distractions, making it easier to notice faint changes in contrast or brightness around the edges of the body. One commonly used technique is peripheral awareness. Instead of staring directly at the center of the body, you allow your attention to spread slightly outward. This relaxed attention may help you notice subtle effects such as a slight glow, haze, or shimmering outline. At first, these impressions can be extremely faint and easy to doubt. Some people describe them as a visual distortion or a light vibration around the body. With continued practice, these impressions may appear more consistently, although they often remain subtle rather than dramatic. It is also important to understand that perception in this practice is influenced by both physical and psychological factors. For example, lighting conditions can significantly affect what you notice. Soft, natural lighting or dim indoor environments are often considered more suitable than harsh artificial light. Similarly, fatigue, stress, or overstimulation can reduce sensitivity, making it harder to notice subtle changes. When the body and mind are relaxed, visual awareness tends to become more open and receptive. Another important part of training the eyes is patience with uncertainty. Many beginners expect immediate, clear visual results, but subtle perception develops gradually. In fact, the expectation of seeing something specific can interfere with the process. When the mind is too focused on achieving a result, it tends to overlook subtle impressions that do not match its expectations. This is why letting go of pressure is considered essential. You are not trying to force an experience. You are learning to notice what is already present in a more refined way. Over time, repeated practice helps the brain adjust to this new way of observing. Just as musicians train their ears to detect subtle differences in sound, or artists train their eyes to notice fine details, aura observation is often described as a form of perceptual training. The more consistently you practice soft focus and peripheral awareness, the more familiar subtle visual impressions may become. Some practitioners also report that emotional states can influence what they perceive. Calmness and neutrality are believed to support clearer observation, while strong emotional reactions may distort perception. Because of this, many people combine visual exercises with breathing techniques or short meditation practices to maintain a balanced internal state. As this stage develops, the experience of looking at people may begin to feel different. Instead of focusing only on physical appearance, there is a growing sense of depth in perception, as if you are becoming aware of more than just the surface level. Even if the visual aspect remains subtle or inconsistent, the practice itself encourages greater attentiveness, presence, and sensitivity to the environment. This shift in awareness is often considered just as valuable as the visual experiences themselves, as it changes the way you observe both people and the world around you. Practicing patience, awareness, and grounded perception is often considered the final and most important stage in learning how to see auras. Even after learning how to calm the mind and train the eyes to notice subtle impressions, many people become discouraged because their experiences are inconsistent or unclear. This is where patience becomes essential. Developing subtle perception is not about rushing toward a dramatic visual result, but about allowing awareness to unfold naturally over time without pressure or expectation. Patience means accepting that progress may be slow and gradual. Some days you may notice faint impressions, while other days you may not notice anything at all. This inconsistency is normal and should not be seen as failure. In fact, forcing the experience or becoming frustrated often makes perception more difficult. When the mind is tense or overly focused on results, it narrows attention and reduces sensitivity. Patience allows you to remain open even when nothing obvious appears, which keeps the practice relaxed and sustainable. Awareness is another key element in this stage. Awareness here refers to a broader sense of noticing, not only visually but also mentally and emotionally. Instead of focusing only on trying to see something specific around a person, you begin to observe the entire experience of perception. You notice how your attention moves, how your eyes respond, and how your thoughts influence what you expect to see. This expanded awareness helps you understand that perception is not only about the eyes, but also about the state of mind behind them. Many practitioners believe that increased awareness naturally enhances sensitivity. When you are fully present in the moment, you are less distracted by internal thoughts or external noise. This presence allows subtle impressions to emerge more clearly because your attention is not fragmented. Whether or not one interprets these impressions as literal energy fields, this level of awareness often leads to a deeper appreciation of visual detail, light variation, and human presence. Grounded perception is equally important because it helps maintain balance between openness and realism. Exploring aura perception can sometimes lead people to become overly imaginative or to misinterpret ordinary visual effects as something extraordinary. Grounding ensures that you remain connected to reality while still exploring subtle experiences. It encourages you to observe without immediately assigning meaning or making assumptions. Instead of jumping to conclusions, you simply notice what is present and allow understanding to develop naturally. Grounding can also involve staying connected to the physical body and everyday environment. Simple practices, such as feeling your feet on the ground, focusing on physical sensations, or returning attention to normal vision can help stabilize perception. This balance prevents overinterpretation and keeps the experience healthy and centered. It allows exploration without losing clarity or becoming detached from practical reality. Over time, the combination of patience, awareness, and grounded perception creates a stable foundation for subtle observation. You may find that even when you are not actively trying to see auras, your general sensitivity to light, mood, and presence becomes stronger. People may appear more expressive, environments may feel more noticeable, and subtle changes in atmosphere may become easier to detect. This does not always translate into clear visual colors or defined outlines, but rather into a refined sense of awareness that enhances how you experience daily life. It is also important to recognize that individual experiences vary greatly. Some people may report seeing faint colors or light fields, while others may experience impressions more mentally or emotionally than visually. There is no single correct outcome, and expectations can sometimes limit natural perception. Remaining open to different forms of experience helps reduce pressure and allows your awareness to develop in its own way. In the end, patience keeps you steady, awareness keeps you present, and grounded perception keeps you balanced. Together, these qualities support a more open and attentive way of seeing, where subtle details are noticed without force and experiences are observed with clarity and calm understanding over time.